Hey, friends. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Hundreded, where I try to figure out um, the true meaning behind the 100 Days of Making Comics Challenge. And today we're going to go halfway around the world, at least for me, um, and talk with Steve Brute. There he is. Let's give him a call, see how he's doing. Um, Dude, how's it going, man?
How's it going?
I'm really sorry, man. This is Steve Brute, everybody. Say hey.
Hey.
We've been trying to do this hangout for like well over a week now. And I feel like it's my bad. Like I had some trouble today getting the stream started. My bad. But Steve, how you doing today, man?
Not bad, not bad. Feeling a lot better than yesterday.
That's good, man. Did you just have like a 24-hour bug or something like that?
Yeah, it was weird. My eye all went puffy and stuff. I was just, it's horrible.
Oh, that stinks, dude. Um, but Steve is a 100 days of making comics challenger. And what day are you on today, Steve?
95. So
Dope.
just behind you, aren't I?
Dope. No, it's exciting, man. And that's why I wanted to have you on today. Not only did we did a hangout about a month ago that was supposed to be like episode one of my like interview series or whatever it is, uh, and it's lost to time, you know, because my
Yeah, it was the pilot. It was the pilot that everyone never got to see.
100%, which makes me a little nervous. Maybe I should make sure that we're streaming right now.
It says
Um,
live in the corner, so
okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Um, but yeah, 95 days, dude. When you started on day one, uh, how did you how did you picture this whole challenge would go?
uh, um, I don't know, because I work on my own web comic anyway, which I've kind of put on the back burner because I'm redesigning it. But I don't know. It was just I didn't think I'd get this much done in the amount of days that I've done. Because I thought, right, I'm going to start off simple. Well, I say simple, but I'll try out Marshall Lee's 1 hour comics challenge. I thought that'll be day one, and that'll get the ball rolling into whatever I'll do. But I didn't expect to do that. Children of Orbis. I did two mini comics, and I'm working on a remake of a 10-year-old story. So I don't know. I think I'm going a bit too pedal to the metal type of thing, just going too quick for what I need to do. But I
Dude,
think
that's
that's
what I
just the
wanted
way
to
I
ask
work.
you too. I mean, the last time we talked, I know you said like the challenge helped you realize you could go faster, right?
Yeah,
Um, is that a speed that's comfortable to you, or do you feel like you're just like ripping through stuff?
it's comfortable because I I don't know why, but because I have psoriatic arthritis, it's in my legs at the moment. I'm just scared that it's going to get in my hands and I won't be able to hold a pencil. So I'm just kind of, I need to get as much out of me as possible until it gets a hold of me or I sort it out, which I'm trying to.
Oh, geez. Like, have you ever felt it in your hands, or your arms, or anything like that? I don't know what that
uh,
condition is exactly. I mean,
it's basically psoriasis, but it attacks the joints in your bones. So, which, basically is arthritis, but it's, you can see it all over my hand. I don't know how clear that is, but you can imagine that all over your body and then getting into your joints and then not being able to walk some days.
oh, geez. Jeez, I can't even
But
imagine, dude.
this, I'm used to it. I've had it since I was 15, so
Oh, really?
and I'm
Yeah.
35 now, so it's
Well, dude, you're not letting it slow you down. That's for sure.
no,
I,
I can't let it win.
that's a good way to look at it, man. But yeah, you mentioned you started on day one with the 1 hour comics challenge, and that was that day off that you made on day one, or was that later on?
No, that was Escape the Cave. I've done so many, I'm trying to remember.
But then after that, you started with the comic Children of Orbis, and since then, you finished the first issue of Children of Orbis, um,
Yeah,
and I got a chance to read it, and it's awesome, man. I'm really
thank you.
impressed. Like what? You finished it around day 70 or something like that. Um,
Yeah, something like that, and that was doing mini comics in between as well, which I think I'm one of those people that when I get an idea, I've got to get that down, otherwise I'm going to forget it. So I just go full force with that, and then right, okay, I can go to the side, I can come back to this,
yeah,
which
and that's why I asked, like, if you feel like it's comfortable, um, because like as long as it's feeling comfortable to you, that like that's the pace you go. So, dude,
yeah.
go all out. You know, I'm a lot slower. I feel like I'm like moving through sludge sometimes, but I'm getting there. I'm getting
Yeah,
there.
but I look at your page and I'm like, oh yeah, the cross hatching, that'd be nice to do on mine. But then I think I might be impatient as well, maybe. That I'm just like, I just got to get this done. Not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just I think it's since watching that documentary that I showed you, the manga one. I can't remember the guy's name, but seeing him work and he's just like with the biro or the like the pens, he's just throwing it around. It's like going, no, it's beating me, and then an hour later he's like, nope, I've got it. It's just, I was doing what they do, 15 pages in one day. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. And I'll put that in the show notes for anybody that wants to check that video out because it's changed. That video has changed my idea about like how well about the process I should be working towards.
Mm.
And it's towards like working a little bit faster, right? But
Yeah, that's right.
streamlining lining my process just so I can create more pages quicker. I think that's my main problem is I focus too much on the art. So uh, it
That is
just bogs
important though.
everything
I mean,
down.
it's
Yeah.
like you can't just go, oh, stick figures, there you go, it's done. But I know it works for some people, but for me, I'm just like, it has to be that little bit further than a stick figure. But
Yeah.
that's
And
me personally.
uh, yeah, but the thing is too that I want this to be created someday, right?
Yeah,
And it just feels like a slog some days, like, oh, I barely got anything done. But um, I think as long as I'm focused and I'm trying to improve, at
yeah.
least as far as like my speed is involved, I think
I
I'll
think
get
me,
faster over time.
there's always a saying that I've always taken, and it's always been in what with art or bands or whatever. If it stops being fun, don't do it. And I've always lived by that. It's like, you know, you don't want to be sat there drawing something and not enjoying it. If you don't enjoy it, don't do it. Move on to something else. It's the same with bands. I've been in bands where I've gone up to them and like, I'm not enjoying this anymore. Sometimes they get a bit salty, sometimes they don't. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But you've got to look out for number one at the end of the day.
Dude, how did I forget that? You're in a band as well.
Yeah.
Like
I don't do things by half.
the way. That's the way, dude. Um, uh, but if people want to go check out Children of Orbis, they 100% should. You can get it through your Patreon, and I'll get that link down below after we do the stream or whatever,
Okay.
because it's rad. People should go check it out. What do you remember? I think I asked you this last time, but do you remember like kind of what inspired you to start Children of Orbis? Was it like a movie or a book or anything like that?
Yeah, it was I'm a fan of horror films. So and also weird cults I find interesting. Um just like people that totally brainwash, or just like they've got this idea and they just totally like this is the right way, and they don't listen to any other side. It's like they're in their own little bubble and just it's like, yeah, but what about this? It's like, no, no, it's this way, this way. And it's like, okay, right. But I like that, like films like The Wicker Man, with where they've twisted the whole paganism, and this kind of thing, like I suppose, kind of with House of Thousand Corpses as well, Rob Zombie's horror movie with the Firefly family, where well, the title says it all really, but I just like weird things, especially like the Outer Limits, the Twilight Zone, Hammer House of Horror, just really weird things. And Children of Orbis is basically just about it's about a guy that wanders into a forest or a woodland and stumbles across this cult by chance, and they believe the world can be turned upside down literally. And then as the story progresses, you can kind of see where it's going, whether they're wrong, right. I don't want to spoil much, but
Neither do I. Neither do I. Um, but yeah, it's a cool idea. Um, and I mean, you have a lot of comics up on Webtoons as well, which people can go read.
mm,
And it just shows like this awesome progression of your work that you're always trying to tell a story with some crazy twists. And I really like them a lot, man. I'm excited. I mean, I've read over Crab Hands, Man with Crab Hands, uh, the 10-year-old version, but
yeah,
you're working through just a revisit of that comic book.
that's right.
Um, how's the process going so far? I talked to you when you kind of like started it out.
Yeah,
But how are you feeling about it?
it's going good. I mean, I've written it. I've thumbnailed about 16 pages, and it's a 24-page one shot. So I'm just penciled page 15 today. So yeah, that's where I'm up to.
So,
I like I think that's a good thing about doing mini comics and one shots is that you could try a new style. You can go, oh, I want to try it this way because the, with Orbis, it was a bit. Well, don't want to say more polished, but Crab Hands is more cartoony, I'd say, with especially like a thicker outline and handwritten the lettering. But the last one, I actually used fonts to do the lettering. I don't know why I just decided to do it that way, but I like trying different things and different styles just to see what's comfortable with me because I don't want to be one of those people that, what if I did try that? Or what if I don't like that expression. I want to try new things.
and I definitely see like even in your inking, you're trying out some different styles as than what you did with Children of Orbis.
Mm.
Um, I like that bold outline that you have around like around characters. Um, that's definitely different. Um,
Yeah.
you're gonna keep this one black and white as well, or
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the Outer Limits Twilight Zone uh, thing in me is like I like the black and white. It's something about black and white that suits horror, and I don't know if that's because I'm a fan of the old horror like Dracula, Frankenstein, all the old or the Golden Age horror.
well, it's definitely a good look. Like Children of Orbis has an awesome look. I love that black and white. I kind of prefer black and white comic books. So that's why I'm staying black and white with mine as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know
but
if that's like a manga thing as well, influenced by the manga because it's cheaper to reproduce as black and white, and that's why they kept it as black and white. So I don't know if it's that or I don't know.
I think for me, it 100% is. I prefer like a thick little manga as
Mm.
opposed to like a floppy, glossy Western comic book. But that's just me.
Yeah, I think I don't really read a lot of Western comics, like like X-Men or anything from Marvel, DC, and I don't know why. It's not that I don't like the characters or the stories. It's just I don't know. I'm more interested in reading like Akira or say or something by Junji Ito. It needs to have that hook to get you in, and I think with the superhero stuff, it's like I don't know. I don't want to badmouth superhero stuff because I do like superhero comics, but sometimes it's like the same old. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think. I mean, I grew up reading Spider-Man and Batman. I've
Oh yeah,
kept all their
Batman.
comic books.
Mm,
Um, but even as a kid, like I had maybe 20 comic books that I read like a million times. Um, you just
yeah,
for me, it's hard to pick up some of those comic books anymore because I'm not into the characters or the universes as much as other people are. So
yeah,
I don't really know where I am in the story, and I don't really know if the story is going to end per se. So with a manga, I know where the start is, and I know it's going to end at some point, and I think that's a benefit for manga for sure. Um,
yeah. I'd say I'm probably the same.
yeah,
Like because yes, I suppose they can do a manga for years and then they'll go right. I'm gonna try something else, and then they'll just end it, and you're like, oh, okay, something new.
yeah. In a bad case, in like,
I
but
think I kind of did that in a story where I just ended it. It was just no explanation, just end. And I think I said this last time, but I like the reaction of what? Like the confused reaction.
yeah, we talked about it before. Like, uh, it'd be interesting. Like, if you got sick of a story that you were working on, right? And you were just like, well, everybody's gonna die. It's gonna be a tragedy, and it's happening right now. You
Yeah,
know?
I mean, even the beginning could be like this, right? Really happy fantasy. It's like, no, bomb, done. I mean, out of the like, just to go. Wait, but 2 seconds ago he was playing with deer. Just
Yeah. Um, but as far as far as like Children of Orbis and your last couple comic books go, uh, this is one question I wanted to ask you last time, but I didn't. It
hmm,
just slipped my mind for some reason. Um, how has because you've been making comic books for a while now, right?
yeah.
Um, how has becoming a father changed the way you look at your work, or changed the way you actually decide on the stories that you're going to tell?
Yeah, I think I talked about this last time. My youngest, he came up to me and said, "Oh, can I read one of your comics?" I was like, uh, "Not really. There's a bit of bad words in there." And he was like, "Why are the bad words?" I was like, "Oh, it's just the way I wrote it." And he just looked at me dead in the eye, black and white. You need to write a kids comic. Like, oh, all right, okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
now I cut out the swearing. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld that said this. He used to when he was doing stand up, he would swear, and then he'd sit back and look at it and go, right, are people laughing at the joke or are they laughing at the cursing? So the next show he didn't do any cursing, and he got the same reaction. So he's like, well, there's no need for me to curse then if people are going to laugh either way. And I think I kind of see it the same way that if it's not needed, don't use it. It-
and it opens up your audience as well, especially for
oh
you
yeah,
when you're working with these like in the horror genre. Um, you can reach like that full range of audience. You're not excluding anybody really.
yeah, exactly.
Um, I think that's really interesting. Uh, I feel really lucky being a father. That's something we both have in common. Um, because before that, I didn't really have a direction as far as with my art. You know, I went to art school and I was like, I'll just use this somehow. And I'll
Yeah,
get some sort of art job because that's the dream. But
it's
it
like one
just
of these days I'll be a graphic artist. one of these days.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of like pie in the sky sort of dream, right?
Yeah,
Um, where you have a job that you're really happy about. You know, this vague idea of a job. You don't even know what you do, but you use your art, right? And I I got my associates and tried to look for jobs. Found some, off and on jobs here and there, but the more I like worked at another place, I realized like, oh, this isn't really what I want to do with my art. I'm pretty selfish when it comes to that sort of thing. And luckily, I have my boy
yeah,
at the same time, so like that made me focus and say like, oh, what do I want to do with this? And I don't know. I think that's why I'm working on comic books right now. A childhood dream that I had, and it's always been there in the background, but like, um, it made me say like, oh, I'm gonna start this,
yeah.
uh, which I think is dope. How did you get introduced to the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge, anyways?
I think it was Kevin Cross. I stumbled across his video and I just binge watched all the hundreds just going through. And then I found out that he was into punk rock. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. He's like everything. It's like, and then the store, like just the process of it, I was like, because I think at the time I was watching it, I was at a bit of a stagnant point of comics. I was like, I was kind of burnt out. I was like, ah, nobody's reading my stuff. I'm just not getting anywhere. What's the point of it all? Having like existential crisis of comics. And then I stumbled across his video and I was like, oh, 30 minutes a day. I could do that. And but then I watched like other 100s, like, and then I saw Marshall Lee's 1 hour comic challenge, and I was like, no, I can do this. But I think it wasn't until I got the iPad that I started becoming more progressive with just churning out comics. I think I talked to you the last time last year. I did a graphics novel worth of stories. I thought, oh, I'll release it. So that's up on Amazon. And, I was just like, I don't have to worry about it. It's all on print and demand. So I'm like, if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, eh.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Um, like I was introduced to the 100 Days of Making Comics challenge by Kevin Cross as well. I watched his first run. Gosh, it's been like 5 or 6 years ago, and then I was like, I should do
Mm.
that. And I've tried it a couple times and hit the wall each time. But this time, hopefully, I'll finish. I don't know. We'll see.
What, 2 days?
Hey, there's
Like,
still a
no,
chance, man.
99, no, that's it. I'm done.
There's still a chance, dude. Um, uh, one question that I like to ask is like everybody wants to hear about those tough times, right? Do you
Mm.
remember like kind of the toughest day that you had on this 100 day challenge and kind of like how you got through it?
There's been a few where you just kind of look at your watch, you're like, right, okay, I can't do it yet. I'll have to do it until then. And then something will pop up. You're like, okay, I'll have to wait until after that. And something else will pop up. You're like, oh, I'm running out of time here. But then you just kind of got to go, oh, right, I'm doing it now. Otherwise, but I think the other day when I wasn't well, I was just so drained. I just didn't want to do anything. It was like drawing was the last thing on my mind. But then I thought, no, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. And you failed this challenge. And I don't know what I did. I think I inked a whole page and lettered it. I was like, well, can't be that sick if I did that.
Yeah. Um, I mean, in that instance, you obviously like, it was a benefit to get started and actually do the challenge, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you think after the challenge, if you have a really tough day, you'll be like, nah, let's take it off?
Uh, I don't know because I've kind of gone into the habit now of I like drawing like that, whether it's 30 minutes up to an hour. I like that little me time of just doing that. But I think it was. Yeah, it was the other day, yesterday, because I did a bit of drawing. I wasn't feeling too good, and the eldest came up to me. He's like, "Oh, could I draw?" So okay, here you go. So he just sat there on a beanbag, just drawing. Coming up to me, he's like, "Look at this. Show your friends." Okay.
Awesome. What do you draw?
he, what did he draw? I'll have to check. I've got my iPad here,
Yeah.
so you'll probably be happy with this. That it's going on YouTube, but um,
My brother, one of my youngest brothers, he's 10 years younger than me, and I remember when he wanted to draw stuff for me. I think I still have like he drew Sonic the Hedgehog for me one time.
uh,
I thought it was so cool.
yeah, I think a lot of it. He was like, "Oh, I showed him like a symmetry brush, so he did this weird." Uh,
Oh yeah,
did that, and then he wanted me to draw something, like pencil something, and he'd ink it. So he did like this self portrait of himself.
dude, he did a good job, man.
And then, this was the one today. He likes a program called Cupcake and Dino. It's on Netflix. So he wanted me to draw a cupcake, and then he added like a little dinosaur character in there. He does like drawing.
I know that show. I know that show. I've watched it a couple times myself.
Yeah, well, my youngest, he has a routine. He has to, he doesn't just watch one episode, he has to watch the entire series and then start it all over again, loop it, and again and again. Yeah,
Dude,
that's him.
my brother that's just 3 years younger than me, we had a VHS of Old Yeller. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but he would do the same thing where he'd watch it, rewind, watch it, rewind, watch it, rewind, and that VHS tape broke eventually. Over about a year's worth of time, and he
Uh,
was so sad, dude. He
See,
was so sad.
that's the thing that I miss about VHS, especially with horror films. You know, there's a scary part coming because goes all static, and people have rewound it and gone, "Oh, that was awesome."
Yeah, dude, VHS tapes. Uh, do you think like that '90s era affects your comic books at all? Like your writing or anything like
Uh,
that?
Possibly, yeah, because they just rerun a lot of '80s films like Aliens and Predator and like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. I watched that way too young.
You probably did. I didn't get into horror movies. I love horror movies too, but I didn't get into horror movies until I was
That's the thing. I was like
20.
growing up, I'd love like the action films as well, like the Schwarzenegger. It was just like he was on everything, and I guess our generation it was like, oh, it's Arnie, it's got to watch it.
Do you think because the horror genre is so different now, right? Everybody's got a cell phone. Like, how do you deal with cell phones in the horror genre?
Oh, there's always that's one thing that annoys me. It's like, oh, we're lost in the woods. I got a cell phone. Oh, no signal. Oh, what are the chances?
That's like the easiest way just to write it
Mm,
off, right? Like, oh, you just don't have signal.
yeah, that's. Don't know. I want to see this new one called Midsummer. That looks interesting. It's
Dude, it
very
looks
Wicker manish.
dope. It looks dope.
Mm.
I didn't get to see Us, but
Oh, that was
um,
good.
it was.
Mm. Not as good as Get Out, but it was good.
Get Out was so dope. I liked Get Out a lot.
Mm.
It was really good. Um, but we don't watch this. The funny thing is, my wife got me to when we started dating. She got me into watching horror films, and I hated horror films at the time. But I was just like, oh, I got to man up, right? Um, but now that we have kids, she doesn't want to watch horror films anymore. She feels like especially when the kids are involved, like she does not like watching that stuff. So I don't watch nearly as many horror films as I used to. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't get to as much. Not in the house. I mean, I've got a few figures and stuff, but the kids aren't like, oh, they're scary. Um, but
Dude,
no, I try.
I tried to put on Goosebumps, the show, um, like the television show that I used to watch on Saturday mornings. I turned it on just the other day, and my boy, he's scared when he just goes like this. And so it's like, never mind. We'll try this again some other time. Um, but
Oh,
the funny thing is, I hated scary things, but I loved everything Goosebumps growing up. Here in the States, like it was big, dude. I don't know if
yeah.
it
I
was
used to
there,
have the books as well, Goosebumps, and then scary, scary stories to tell in the dark.
which is
Um,
getting a movie soon.
yeah,
Um, I don't know. I don't know about that so much. I think the books are actually scary, dude. Goosebumps, the books, never scary. That's
no,
why, like, I think there was one Goosebumps book that kind of was scary. I reread it back when my boy was born, like 4 years ago. I was like, oh, I'm gonna revisit like all this kid stuff that I used to like and figure out why I liked it. So I busted out all my old Goosebump books, and one of them was kind of creepy. Um, but the other like 4 or 5 books that I read were just trash.
it was just like, yeah, this is for kids.
But the covers were all dope. That's why I
Yeah,
got
like
them.
the bumpy covers because of the goosebumps.
Exactly. And the artist that did those, I think his name's Jacobus, something like that.
Mm,
Get out of here. That's why I bought them, dude. I was like,
yeah,
this cover is sick.
it's
Um,
like was it Night of the Living Dummy? It's just this smiling dummy in this goopy goosebump stuff. I think it was a green or blue cover.
yeah. Um, but yeah. Do you think you'll let your kids watch those scary movies? When do you think you'll let your kids start watching those scary movies? Like
Uh,
the real ones, like The Thing.
the ones that I used to watch when I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
It didn't affect me at all.
No, you turned out all right.
Yeah,
I actually
just
think so in my comic book is for kids, right?
yeah.
And there isn't anything scary, well, nothing that I would consider scary in these 2 chapters that I'm working on, but I 100% want to put some scary stuff in there. I think it's actually kind of important for kids to get scared.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, it's like they've got to have that fear. I suppose that's the best way of describing it. Because that's the thing. People say, "Oh, I don't like scary movies," but that's the point. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It's like it's scary, but at the end, you've had a fun time.
yeah.
That's the way I see them.
Uh, I think Jim Henson was really into like the idea of scaring kids with like
Oh man,
Labyrinth and Dark
yeah,
Crystal and stuff like that. And I think he
like
was really onto something.
Labyrinth. My eldest watched it on Friday.
Oh,
It was the
cool.
first time because it just happened to be on one of the movie channels, and we were like, "Oh, let's watch this." And the eldest was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "No, no, you'll love it." And he was just glued to the set. He was just like, "What is this?" And then David Bowie started singing. And he was like, "He's got a good voice."
Wow. um, to be young and I don't know. I think I love David Bowie, right? I love
Yeah.
David Bowie. His songs in Labyrinth are horrible. I'm not. I'm just gonna go out there and say it. They're really bad. I still like them.
It's kind of like the like Flight of the Conchords when they mimic David Bowie. It's kind of like David Bowie doing a David Bowie impression.
A little bit. Well, and he's trying to do a character, right?
Yeah.
And I get that, but uh, dude,
Oh,
that's one
the
of my
80s.
favorite. That's one of my favorite Flight of the Conchords song. No joke,
Bowie in space.
because they nailed David Bowie so hard. Oh man, it's ridiculous. Um, I don't think I'll let my kids watch any scary stuff until I don't know, at least into
Yeah,
the
I think
teens.
yeah, maybe starting 12, just before the teens, because I'm sure there's plenty of PG horror films that you can watch.
Yeah, the
I'm sure.
Poltergeist is PG.
Yeah, I'm surprised considering they used actual skeletons.
And honest, that's kind of on the scale of scary. I feel like that one's pretty up there.
Yeah, Poltergeist, and was it? I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the second one where he turns into like a little maggot and he drinks it and then he starts going crazy. The dad. I think that might have
Oh,
been the second one.
dude, I don't remember that. Maybe I've only seen the first one, but uh, I'm excited. Dude, Halloween is my favorite part of the year. And I feel like even though it's a couple months away, I feel like it's right around the corner. So that's
I
why
know.
I tried to pop on the Goosebumps yesterday. But,
They're trying to get.
oh, let's see. You're breaking up, man. You still there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool, cool.
Um, yeah, they used to love watching Nightmare Before Christmas, but now they won't watch it, and I'm like, but why? It's a good film. Watch it.
What did they say? It's just scary for them? Or
Um, yeah, well, they like Jack Skellington, but then they have no interest in watching it. I don't know why. So I need to sort that out.
um but yeah, man, we made it to the end of the 100-day challenge here.
Yeah, it's
Uh
crazy.
I didn't think about it at the first of the challenge, but if I had to give myself like a percentage of what chance like I would actually finish this challenge, and I want to give myself like 25% chance that I would have finished it. So I feel like I made my money uh, when it comes to like actually finishing the challenge.
Yeah, man.
You feel pretty like accomplished.
Yeah, definitely. It's like because when you first start, you're like, oh, see how this goes. Because there's no point in saying I will finish this. I will get a comic done. You know, that wasn't my thought originally. I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to get a comic finished in 100 days, just a comic. I just thought I'll get something started. I didn't think I'd start on a second comic. But I don't know. I feel like I've won already in a way. Don't know. I sounded really cocky then, didn't I?
No, 100% you have one, man. Dude, you've beaten me into the ground. I'm like, dude, I can barely even make comics. The Steve guy, he's just running circles.
Just shaking your fist. Trying to find where Wales is. Where
It's that way, I think. No,
where's my compass?
but man, I've been impressed about your run. I wanted to thank you because there's some days where like I watched your video, I watched a couple of the other guys' video, and that's all that kept me going. I think uh, some of my worst days, like that is all that kept me going. I got to see you guys do your thing and actually get some work done, and that helped me a lot, man. So
Yeah, I
thank
think
you.
that's no problem. I had the same thing. I'd watch a few of the 100, especially yours. I'd always make sure I'd watch yours because it was just the story that you were having in your videos and the introduction of hello friends. It was just it felt warming and like you are trying to be everyone's friend. It's like no, it's nice. It's like really positive energy that came from your videos, and it's like yeah, I could do this too.
Thanks, man. Thanks. That's crazy to think that about 100 days ago we started the challenge at the same exact time,
Mm,
pretty much. Halfway across the world. It's crazy, man.
it is. It just shows what this challenge can do. Is like you can kind of make new friends and support each other, even though we're in a different time zone.
Oh yeah. Like there's no other way, man. There's no other way. I mean, I've been to England once, but I was 16. Maybe I saw you on the street. I don't know. But
I don't know. It's pretty big. It's bigger than what people think. I find it hilarious when I went over to see my brother. He lives in North Carolina, and they were like, "Oh, are you from England?" And we're like, "No, no, Wales." It's like, where's that? So, oh, it's a very tiny country next to England, and they were like, "What?" Like, they know Scotland, they know Ireland, they know England, Wales.
Dude, I looked at the map of the United States yesterday, and I'm gonna be honest. If you had asked me like, "Hey, where's Nebraska?" I don't know, man. I don't know. Somewhere over there. It's like there. That's a
I
good
like the
spot for
people
it.
that say, "Oh, do you know Joan?" Nope.
You should just say, "Yep, I do, man."
Not a very nice person.
Yeah, exactly. Um, well, you should feel accomplished, man. You're doing great things. You have some plans for after the challenge at all?
Uh,
Whether it be for your work or, anything else.
well, I've got a baby due.
Which, by the way, congratulations. I didn't want to drop it because, like,
No.
it's yours to drop, right? But congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's exciting. Uh,
So
it makes me think of,
D100's baby.
yeah, for real. It makes me think of, like, that time where we learned that we were pregnant with our second,
Mm.
that was a crazy time for me. I was like, oh my gosh. Uh,
Yeah.
how's that news been? Because that shakes up the whole the house dynamic, right?
Yeah,
Um,
well, we live in a flat. I mean, the room that I'm in now will be the baby room. So, but got a few months to sort that out. So.
and you got that iPad, you can draw anywhere now, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Um, but as far as like the challenge goes, like I can imagine that being a little tougher fitting in your time now that like, oh, I got all these things that I gotta, you know, put in a row in the
Uh,
meantime.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure I'll find a way. I'm sure I will, because well, you'll know from newborns, it's all the feeds, the midnight feeds, and then we've got the two boys to sort out as well. It's going to be a busy time, but you know, with the 100, I was thinking about this the other day. Actually, I think I was talking to you that what I'm going to do after the 100s, and I'm probably going to do weekly or maybe monthly updates on comics, and just have the Instagram pictures and just kind of talk over the process of what I've done. But I wanted to ask you as well because you've got 2 days.
Cool. Yeah.
With,
Well, yeah. I'm gonna take a week off. 100%. Not that I feel like I need it. Like I could keep going. As far as like the comic book work goes, I feel like I keep going. Um, but I want to figure out a better schedule to work on my comic book work.
yeah,
Uh, I'm going to talk with my wife and figure out, you know, what would be best. Because the whole everyday thing, like that's probably the only reason I made it through the last, dude, I would say 25 days, is because
mm,
my wife's been so awesome and she'll actually say like, like, oh, I'll get home and you can do your 30 minutes and then you can go to bed, sort of thing. So even she's trying to fit in that time, but there's some days where it's like I looked at her and and there were some days where I could tell she was just like, how about you not do that today?
yeah.
And so I'd kind of sneak it in somewhere else. But uh, so I'm gonna figure out a better schedule, um, and then probably weekly updates. Yeah,
Yeah,
like you said, weekly YouTube updates, and then I want to keep doing like interviewing people like
yeah,
this because I think it's like really I don't know, it's really interesting. It gives me a chance to learn and talk with other people,
yeah.
which
Definitely.
I
I've been
never
I've been
do.
enjoying I've been enjoying watching them as well.
That's cool. That's cool. It's a selfish thing, dude. I just like talking with artists, man. Um,
You got to. It's like artists just come together And then it's like, oh, what do you use? What do you? It's a weird thing. It's like you could be, I could be working in the shop, but then once you find out someone else does something with art, you just kind of just come together and you're just like, oh, you talk for ages. So
Yeah. Um, and that's the thing is I don't really like now that I don't go to school or anything like that, and I watch my kids during the day. It's like I don't get that much contact with artists at all. Um, Nobody at work really does anything art related. So uh, I don't know. This is like my one outlet. I feel like
yeah,
talking to you guys through like this little show, or just talking to the camera. That's what I'm gonna miss. What are you gonna miss about the 100 days challenge? I'm gonna definitely miss like parts of the daily videos where I get to get the ideas out. You know, maybe I should just
yeah.
whip out my phone and talk to it sometimes like a crazy person. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah, I think you may have noticed on my 100, I started off just doing like time lapse, time lapse, time lapse, time lapse, because I just was not comfortable in front of the camera. And then it got to one day, I think I was watching some of your videos. I was like, oh, come on, Clay's the same as you. He's like, and I need to get into the idea of like, there's only a handful of people watching my videos. What does it matter? So that's why I started doing the phone ones. I mean, I haven't the past couple of days because I haven't been well, or I've just had no time to record. But I just put something out and then it's out there. But yeah, getting in front of the camera, it's weird.
Dude, it's
It's weird.
100% weird. I remember struggling with this so much that first 20 days, you know. I feel like I'm a little bit more comfortable now, but not really all that much.
Mm.
Um, I don't know, it may never happen, you know, like I may always be like a little weirded out that I'm talking to a machine. Um, like my phone, I put like this little lens on my phone and it looks like Hal from 2001's A Space Odyssey. And part of me feels like it's gonna kill me one of these days, you know. I don't know. It's a really weird feeling, but that's exactly what I feel like.
Why aren't you drawing, Clay?
Oh, come on, Hal. I'm just not feeling it today. All right. Like,
30 minutes, Clay.
I don't need you anymore, Clay. Like, I can
I
draw
can
on my
draw
own.
myself.
Like, dude, it's kind of what it feels like. Oh man, uh, I'll have to show you sometime. It does look like Hal. If it had a little red glowing like globe in there, oh, that'd be even better. Yeah. But I'm gonna miss, dude. I'm also gonna miss like the daily videos of you guys too. Um, I mean, you're gonna hit the end here, and you know, Larry Lonsby Jr. is gonna hit the end pretty soon.
Yeah.
Uh, but you know, I'll just try to find some other hundreds, some new hundreds to follow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the great thing. It's like there's always someone starting pretty much every day, 100s. You just need to find them, and then when you do, it's like, another one of us. But yeah, I did want to ask you this. Once you finish the 100s and you've had time to like let the dust settle on that, will you do another 100s?
Dude, that's what I honestly like. I feel like I could just keep going. Um, Part of me was like, oh, you should just go to on to day 101 and 102, and then just keep going. Um, but part of me is like, I know that the schedule isn't the best thing for my home life. Uh, Saying that, like, that's an important thing though to come to that realization because I feel like it's important for me to push myself to really know the boundaries of what I should be doing, you know.
Yeah, I
And there
mean
was
it's like we've got summer holidays coming up over here, maybe in 2 weeks, which I think this 100 days has panned out quite well, to be honest, because that means I've got more time to spend with the kids. It's like I don't have to do that 30 minutes if I don't have to, and if I don't, it'd be like I can come back to that tomorrow. You know, I think yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you kind of realize it's quite a selfish thing, really, if you think about it. It's like yeah, I've got 100 days for myself.
Yeah, and you don't really realize, like, even though it's 30 minutes a day, like it kind of affects the rest of my schedule. I felt
Mm,
like a lot of times I'd have it on my mind and it would be stressing me out until I could finish it. And a lot of times I couldn't finish it until the end of the day, really. So
yeah,
it would be stressing me out like a lot of the day, which is a bummer. Um, but I mean, there's days where, uh, I could have used 30 minutes or more like 45 minutes or an hour because I do these videos every day. There's, I could have used that time to sleep and probably been, been a lot more like, uh, patient with my kids. I'm not saying like I'm a horrible dad, but I could have been a little bit better, you know? So that's why I want to figure out a better schedule. And I don't think that uh, that's gonna be the 100-day format, you know.
mm,
As much as I'd like it to be, because I honestly I think it's a good way to get some work done.
yeah, I'd
It's a
say
good way
so.
to stay accountable. Um, but I just want to kind of make that balance as best as I can. I know that life balance, work with home balance is something that I may never get to that perfect balance,
Mm,
but I want to get it closer. I want to get it closer.
yeah,
Um,
I think I've seen a lot of artists. They have dedicated studio days where they'll have either a day or two where they'll go right. These are this is when I'm going to do my art. Which I think is good, and then you got the rest of the day, rest of the week, sorry, to do that. And that I think is more suited for people who don't have kids. But if you've got kids, it's like, it's like I said, it's finding the right schedule because especially with my youngest, he's all about routine. You got to do it to the T. Um, and yeah, it's hard sometimes because he won't understand because his brain works differently. And it's like, oh well, how come I can't do this? Or you can't just go up to him and say, oh, we're gonna go on the bus today. He'll be like, why? That's not the routine. I go in a car, and that. So it's yeah, I can see where you come in. You have to find the balance.
yeah, and I mean that's another great thing about the hundreds, right? Is it makes some sort of schedule for you. No matter
Mm,
where you get that 30 minutes in every day, at least you're getting it in somewhere, right?
yeah, definitely.
Um, and I would like a schedule where I could say like, oh, today I'm working 4 hours downstairs or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I'll brainstorm with my wife, and maybe she thinks, that the hundreds is kind of a good way to do it. And maybe I'll be back with a second round of hundreds. Do you think you'll do a second round?
Uh, I think so, but you never know.
Yeah,
Three kids on the go. By
yeah,
then, probably.
for real, man, for real.
I do have an idea what I want to do for day 100. I want to end it how I started
Oh,
and,
sweet.
and
That's
do
dope,
an
dude.
hour, do the hour comic challenge.
I'm excited to see that, man.
And then it's like full circle. I don't know whether to do it live or what, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm
Or maybe I'll
excited.
just put the entire hour and then people can see my process and get bored.
Dude, I'll let it spin for an hour, dude. I will. No, dude, that's a really good idea. I don't have anything planned for day 100. I think it'll be. Uh, I don't have a lot of time today and tomorrow, so I think it'll be kind of anticlimactic. But whatever. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's what it is,
another
isn't it?
yeah, it's another day of work, and that's kind of what the hundreds is about. So, um, I don't know. I think I'm going to take my wife out to dinner next week, find a babysitter, and kind of like uh, just celebrate a little bit. Not like
Yeah,
this is the biggest challenge or the hardest thing that I've ever done, but I think it's important to celebrate a little bit
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
quite an accomplishment. Couldn't even speak then. But yeah, I mean, 100 days. It's over 3 months of doing the same thing essentially, and it is quite a big deal. I'd celebrate. I'd celebrate. I don't really drink, so what could I do? Pizza. There you
Pizza, dude. That's my language right there. That's my language.
go.
It's not my wife's language though, so I'll have to do
No.
that another day. Um, no, but we'll go out and just have a good night away from the kids or something.
Yeah.
Um, I asked you this before, but what do you think the true meaning of the 100-day challenge is?
Oh.
If you had to give a stab at it.
I think it's just to get that routine, isn't it? It's like just to push yourself and go, what can I do in 30 minutes or however long people get? Because obviously you're not just limited to 30 minutes. Because that was one of my mistakes on day two. I did a timer for 30 minutes, and by the third day, I just got rid of that. I was just like, no, that's a bad idea because then you're constantly thinking of the time. But yeah, it's just seeing how far you can push yourself in those 30 minutes. And if you want to do more, do more. And it's also great to find a community as well. Because you could feel sometimes, especially with artists, you can feel so alone that you don't connect with anyone else. Like people will be talking about sports. I'm like, I don't care about sports. I mean, if other people do, it's like fair enough, that's your thing. But me, it's like no, I like drawing. I like watching horror films, and I've got kids. So there's three things. There's
That's
not a lot.
life. That's
Yeah,
life. Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for talking with me again.
yeah,
Even though we've like gone over everything that we've gone over like in episode 0 there, that
yeah.
lost episode.
That forever lost episode.
People won't get to see me Hulk out and like just throw uh,
Uh,
that bookcase, just this bookcase right over there. There was a minute
I
of that episode where I just like hulked out,
I think we were
and
talking about Junji Ito, and you're like, I've got that book. Off he trots.
I was like, "Did we just become friends?" And then I was just like, "Ah!" Just to grab, and I totally threw everything. And then I came back and I was like, "Comics are cool, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All nonchalant. It's like destruction everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. I'm awkward enough. When I do something awkward like that, I just try to be like, "Oh, that's
Just brush it off.
it happens every day." But yeah, man, I appreciate you. And I, like I've said before, the speed at which you like create comic books is inspiring to me, and it makes me want to do more. So I appreciate you. We got to keep in touch after the hundreds. I'll
Oh
have you
yeah, we
back
will.
on, especially like when you finish Man with Crab Hands. Like tomorrow when you finish it tomorrow. Maybe I could get you back on when you finish that because I'm excited to read it, dude. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see like the two worlds. The
I
10-year-old.
find it funny how we were talking about I think it was Zelda, and I showed you the Link's Awakening, the, the comparison of the US and the Europe one. I think I took that entire thing when we were talking on Facebook because I can't find it. Can't find it. I was freaking out. I was like, I cannot find it. Why can't I find it? The next day I found it. It was like, oh.
That's good, dude. I talked to a buddy like that night about it, right at work. And he's like, "Yeah, people are mad that we don't get that tin." I was like, "They should be because it's pretty dope." When you sent that picture for a second there, I thought it was like it came bundled with an original Game Boy. And I was like, that's a great idea. I'd pay like a lot of money for that.
Yeah,
But that tin is pretty sweet.
it is. I'm looking forward to getting it.
Dude, I'm looking forward to that game as it is, you know.
Yeah.
Just playing that game. It's gonna be sick. But that's gonna be a subject for another day, man. Cause
Oh
we're gonna
yeah.
have to get into uh, video games another day. Because I could go well, I don't play as much as I used to, that's for sure.
No,
But I
same,
could still get
same.
into
But
it.
when there's a game that comes out and I want it, I'll get it. But it's like a Cadence of Hyrule. That game's so good.
The game's pretty fun, man. Uh, I played it a little bit the last couple of weeks. It's pretty good, man. Jeez,
Yeah,
pretty
those
good.
remixes.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like the music is actually really good. I was like, oh dang. Um, yeah, but yeah, thank you again, dude. I gotta go grab
Yeah,
my
no problem.
kids, save them from my mom, who's watching them right now. She's probably tied up in a closet somewhere. Um, but yeah, for everybody that's watching, thanks for checking it out. I'm gonna have all of Steve Brute's info in the description below. Check him out, dude. Uh, he's a handsome young man, all right, but he's also got some sweet comics. So yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you. Flattery will get you everywhere.
I just thought it was weird that I was telling everyone to check you out. Yeah, it was definitely weird. I had to spin that. But yeah, I hope you have a good rest of the weekend, dude.
Yeah, you too, man. You too.
We will
And
talk to you later. Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll look forward to seeing the last 2 days. Your
Oh,
penultimate day tomorrow.
yeah, that'll be super boring, but it'll be done.
No,
So
you have to put some special effects, some star swipes,
if only I had a fog machine and some lasers at the house, dude. Now you got me
shooting
thinking.
machine guns.
Now you got me thinking, Steve, dude. Thanks a lot. I'm gonna go
All right.
get to work now. Yeah, but yeah, man. I hope you have a good one. Take it easy, dude.
Yeah, you too. You too. See ya.